Hello everyone, Cleach1000 here, and welcome to my very first English video on this channel. So, I usually do my videos in Danish if you don't know, and I'll probably stick to that, but today I thought I'd do something different. I thought I would make an English video explaining how you make very realistic looking terrain in Minecraft, because I have gotten a lot of requests from people who don't speak Danish about how you can make very good maps and how you can get better at making very good maps in Minecraft. So this is what I'm going to do today, and it's probably going to sound a bit complicated because I'm going through a lot of stuff outside Minecraft, because I use two programs, which I'm going to show you in a minute, that I use to make the maps. The first one I'm going to make the actual terrain. I'm going to make the mountains. I'm going to shape the valleys and everything. Then I'm going to put it into another program, which is mostly Minecraft related, and then I'm going to paint that map. I'm going to paint where I'm going to put the different stones. I'm going to paint the rivers. I'm going to put trees in there. I'm going to put stones and bushes and flowers and grass, all that stuff. So I'll probably put something in the background, like a little showcase of what I can do. So if you can see what I'm doing right now, then it's probably one of my maps I'm showing off right now. So that's gonna give you like a little idea of how you can make your maps. And I'm also gonna tell you, I'm not going completely advanced and really complicated, because I want to show you off this in a very simple way. So yeah, but I might not be able to do that, because this is very useful to me. So I'm going to go it as slow as I can. So the first program I'm going to show you is this one. This is World Painter, and I have a little pre-rendered map here. This is actually a map I made very recently, and I'm going to show that as an example. And then I'm going to show you World Machine. This is World Painter, this is World Machine. And World Painter is a free program. You can download it at worldpainter.net, and I'll have a link down in the description, so you can go click that and go in and download that. World Machine, however, is a program you have to pay for, but you can get a free version. The only thing that is restricting you from the base version to the what they call it, the free version, is the resolution of your pictures. As you can see, I can show you a 3D rendering of the map here. This, you can see, is a lot of pixels, and I'm going to show you it here. It's much better to do that. The resolution, I can max it out to 515. Now, if I have the paid version, I could pull it up to I think 8,000 or something like that, and I would be able to create a lot more realistic looking maps. But one, this is for Minecraft, so it doesn't have to be completely realistic, because Minecraft is already a very pixelated game. And what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to double the size of the map and then scale it down, so we get all the details in the map as we want to. So yeah, and then once I'm done with all the terraforming, I then put it into World Painter. And this is the program that is very Minecraft related. As you can see here, I have all the different layers, like frost caverns and all kinds of trees, pine trees, and like swamp trees, jungle trees. I usually don't use those. I have I have downloaded some custom trees, but I'm going to show you that when we get to the actual World Painter part. I'm just going to show you it just real quick before we get into it, what all this is about. So I'm putting stones on the mountains. I'm putting some lakes and some. You can see it on the map here, but I'm putting some little lakes and some water here and there, water pools, and grass and flowers and custom trees again, and then bushes and small rocks here and there. And I can actually show you a 3D rendering, almost not a 3D rendering, but a 3D picture of the map. Now this map is about 1000 blocks. So if I zoom in, about this little pixel here, that's one block. Should give you a perspective. And also, if I'm going to click here, this little circle is the absolute maximum render distance in Minecraft. So that should give you a little perspective of how big this map it really is. But this is not the map I'm going to create in this video. In this video, I'm going to create a new one. So let's do this. Let's go in and create a new one. By the way, this is actually pretty easy to do. I'm going to show it very easily, and it's not that hard to do. So let's just make a new one. Let's just go out of this one first. So this is the template which you're going to be meeting when you open up World Machine for the first time. Now one thing that I usually do is I usually just delete all this. We don't need that. There you go. So what is the way World Machine operates is that you put a bunch of tabs. The first one is in the tab that calls generator, and then it is the very left layout generator. And this is kind of like little boxes where you make some data in this one, then you put it into another box, and then you create more data. I'm going to show you it. So we double click and we go into this little layout view, and this is our map. This is the border of our map, but we're going to make it bigger. So let's go over to World Extension and Resolution, and here is where we're going to decide how big we want the map. So in Minecraft, let's say we want a map that doesn't have to be a very big map. Let's say 1500 blocks. So I'm going to times that by 10 because World Machine isn't very good at making very small maps. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to create, instead of 1500, I'm going to times that with 10, so it's 15,000. But as I said earlier, we also want the details on our map. So what we're going to do is we're going to double that. So it's actually going to be 30. So if you have the free version, double this by 20. So if we want a map that is 1500 blocks, times that with 20, which means it's 30,000 kilometers in World Machine. What we're also going to do is we're going to go over here, and we want to say 5100. That is the elevation, which is the height. And in Minecraft, it is 255. Now, if we times that with 20, it is 5100. And this is going to give us somewhat of a good perspective of how tall these mountains are going to look compared to valleys and more flat areas. So let's click OK. So we can see here the square has gotten a lot bigger. So another thing I was going to mention here is water level. We're going to set this to 1250 because if we take actually it's actually 1240, because if you take 62, which is the height of the water level, times that with 20, that is 1240. Now we don't need to click show here, but it's just if you want to make an island and you don't want stuff to go outside the box, because then we'll just make a direct cut and they will look ugly. So this is just a way to make sure that we have everything inside the square. So let's start by making a very basic shape. I use this that I call polygon, and I'm going to use I'm going to just click, hold down the left mouse, and I'm going to make a little shape. Doesn't have to be very precise. Let's say, yeah, like this. And I want to right click out here to deselect. Now, one thing we want is if you double click here, it brings up this. You can also just click again and click on this red pencil. So what we're going to do is we're going to decrease the height, the maximum height of this shape down to about 3000. No, 2000. You know what? About 2,500. I'm mixing up as I go, but I usually found that this is about the right height. And I'm going to close that down, and we're going to check the box that says use breakup. Okay, we're going to edit, roughness turned up to 6, and breakup scale turn it all the way down to 0, and click X. So now you can see our shape has gotten up more detail out in the corners here, or the edges, which is fine. This is exactly what we want. So let's go out here to the device view, also click F5, and this is the device view. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to up to the general tab again, and we're going to this advanced Perlin. Click that and place it in there. You click right. Oops. You click right when you have it selected. If you click right, you deselect it. But just remember to just click it outside here, because you right click, you go. Yeah, you do something else. I don't know. So now we have this data in this layout generator, and we're going to put it in the advanced Perlin. So we're going to take the primary output, and we want to put it in the mask input. Okay, and we want to go into the 3D view. This is the best way to see how a map turns out. And over here we have all the devices. With only 200 right now, but as we go along, there will be a lot more options down here. So we double click the advanced Perlin, and there will come this window up. So as of the ground, this is not the mountains. We will make the mountains later, but for this, we won't really change much. The only thing we'll do is we'll change it to flat middle, and then raise it a bit more up, and then raise this one a bit more up too, just to make a few more valleys here, and a few more hills and stuff like that. And that's it. Let me just click OK. And if we want to render this, we go to this green button, click it, and now you can see that it got more detail. So this is the final render of the map. Now, of course, it's not done yet, far from done, but we can now click show on the water level to see that this is actually the island. So let's go back to the device view, and we're going to make a few more adjustments to this. Now, this is going to be a little bit hard to explain, but we're going to, in this tapped filter tab, we're going to click this terrace. We are also going back to the generator tab and takes 2 advanced Perlins. Okay, we want to double click on the first one, just this one. We want to take the feature scale. We're going to take it down to about 4 there. Then we're going to raise it almost up about there, 4,500, like 300, there we go, and click OK. We take the next one and do it again, but this time we're also going to take this steepness and we're going to pull it way up, just like that, and click OK. So we're going to take this advanced Perlin here, primary output, and put it in the primary input. With this advanced Perlin, we're going to take the primary output and put it in the terracing modulation. We're going to take this primary output and put it into the mask. Now I know this probably sounds a bit more complicated, but what this will do is it will make, I can show you in the 3D program, it's much more simpler to do. What terracing basically does is it's about a few layers, and it's a bit more complicated to explain when it is just a little flat island. But when we come to the mountains, I can show you there. So click the terrace, and one thing you're going to do is we want to make a bit more number of terrace. We're going to put it up to about 12. Yeah, like that. and we want to click OK, and we want to build. So this looks a bit odd, but now we want to go back to the device view and we want to do all the magic, because this in the natural tab under the erosion, we want to click the erosion, and this is what does all the magic. So we want to take the terrace, take the primary output and put it into the primary input. Okay, want to select the erosion, go into the 3D view, and here we wanted to click the erosion. And this is just something I have by experience come up with, and it's basically what's some standard settings that I usually always apply to my maps. And yeah, I mean, you can experiment. You can of course change it up as you want to see if something suits you better. That's your prerogative. From my experience, I usually do channel erosion. Then I'm going to take rock hardness and I want to put it about 0.2. About that. Sediment carry amount, I'll put that about 80. And filter strength, I'll put about 82. Then I'm going to be taking channel depth, put it down to about 0.02. Up there. Post channel erosion, I'll put that up to 50 or 44. Yeah, 44. Enable erosion power, and I'll put it slightly above 1, like 0.7 there. That's about that. Click OK and hit the the green button to build. There we go. Now, if this was a much higher map, you will going to see a lot more effects. But since it is a very flat surface, it's not going to look particularly good. But now we have the ground, the ground base, the ground shape, and we can then make a completely new one. We want to make all this down here again. Now, the only thing we want to do different is take another layer generator. But one thing I like to do is I like to see where I place my mountains, because we want to place our mountains now. So we're going to click the erosion once and we want to hit F, which says preview locked, which means it doesn't matter what box you click on, it will always show what's in the erosion. So we will now click generator and we're going to click layout generator. We're going to create a new one. Let's put it down here. We're going to double click on that. Now you can see again, this is the same preview as we locked. So now it's much more easier for us to actually determine where we want our mountains to be. But one thing that I like to do is I like to change up my settings as I go along. But I'm going to do that later. I like to make this map a bit bigger because there's a lot of water. There's going to be a lot of water, and yeah, I want to change that. I want to have a bit bigger map. But hey, let's make our mountains. So there's multiple ways you can do your mountains. I usually found the circle and sometimes also the polygon and the lines. I don't really use the lines, but I do sometimes when I like to experiment. But let's take the circle for first. We can take all three. Let's take all four. Let's take all four. So let's take the circle and let's just click it out here. Hold it down and click. And click out here to deselect. Now, this line, this dashed line, is the fallout distance. Now, this is the very start of the mountain, and this is the very top. So we can make the steepness steeper by putting it in, and we can making it more like a valley, going slowly up and slowly down. So we're going to put it around here, because if I'm going to show you this real quick, I can show you this real quick. If you turn off the preview and go back, this is going to be a mountain. Now, of course, this is not built yet, but this fall off distance, you can see how it operates and what it does. And this, well, it basically just makes the top. I usually don't make the top very big. So yeah, but let's go back to this and just lock that preview and go back. So we want a bit less fall off distance. We can always change that. You can always go back and change it if there's something we don't like about our map. So this is very simple. So let's make another one. Let's make a box. Let's make a box pretty much. Let's make a box right here. Yeah, like that. Now, just because you have a box as well square doesn't mean when you're done, it's not gonna look square like at all. So let's put a fall off distance very well. It's not gonna look like a box if we do the right things. So let's put a box here. Yeah. And let's take a polygon and let's make a polygon here. Yeah. About that. Now, with the polygon, it's very more difficult to determine where the fall off distance is going to be. So we are going to change that later. So just make a polygon and say done. Now we want a line. So I think I will make a line that goes like this. So it's kind of like a mountain side like this. Now, of course, you can also change the shape. I forgot to talk about that. You can always just click on it here, and you can just do this. If you want to change up your map, same goes with the line. Just remember to select it first. Then you can click on these little stars that goes up, in and out, and you can just do this and do this. Now it's very important not to click on these gray boxes, because if you're gonna do that, you're gonna like do this. Now I don't find that to be very useful. So of course you can also do it if you want to, but yeah, now you know what it does. So yeah, that's about that. And let's go and remove these preview locks. Let's go back to the layout generator. So this is going to be our mountains. As you can see, they doesn't look very good. So let's do the same thing we did with our base island. Let's go ahead and check the use breakup. Go ahead and edit roughness to 6, breakup scale 0, and let's close that. So yeah, now it looks a lot better. Now one thing that you can always do with the polygon is you can lower it, and what it will do if you lower it pretty far actually is you will just make a plateau, or a very flat surface, very flat area. Now we want map, we want to mount it, but we can always do it later. But so yeah, let's do this just for now. We can always change it later. So we have this, and we want another advanced polygon. Again, generate a tab, advanced polygon right here. We do pretty much the same thing. We can also copy paste these boxes. So you just select Control C, Control V, pull it down here, pull it down here. It's basically the same operation we're going to do. And again, we're going to take filter. We're going to take the terrace. Now we're not going to use these same. We're not going to copy this terrace because we're going to do something different since it is a mountain. Now, what all this does is much more easier to see now when we're going to make a actual mountain. Right here is when we're making such a flat surface. It's much more difficult to see what you are actually doing. So, but yeah, we're going to take this. We're going to put it into the boxes, just like we did before. So, like this. Oh, by the way, I forgot to actually apply the effect to this advanced polygon. So we're going to go into this one. This is the first one we made. So yeah. Now one thing I like to do with the mountains is I like to have a big spiky mountains. You just need to have 4 kilometers. You can if you don't want like really big spiky mountains. You don't want to go any further. If you want a big smooth mountain, you need to go a bit further. But this is what I usually do. And then we're going to take this style from basic to rigid. And we want to basic. we're not going to do anything different. We can change the steepness a little bit. You know, this is what the steepness does. So you can see the effect. I'm going to change it slightly, very, very slightly to the right. And that will do. So let's check OK and build our mountain. So all this probably looks like, when you go into Minecraft, this looks really, really weird. But of course, we haven't gone through the erosion yet. And not even the terrace. So let's go to the terrace now. And this is what a terrace looks like. So this is a very raw terrace. So we're going to change that. So let's change the shape. I like to change the shape to smooth. And then number of terrace about the same, 13. Yeah, that'll do. Click OK and click build. So maybe I should have taken sharp. Yeah, sharp. Let's take sharp. Now I'm not too happy with these terraces. I think I need more terracing. So one thing you can do is we can mix it up to make it a bit more smooth out. So we take terrace shape and we're going to take it a bit down. You can see if we take it completely down, it's going to be, or completely up. You can't see when it's not built, but we're going to put it on about 0.66. Like build and press build. Sorry. Yeah, I like this one. So let's go back to the device view, and we're going to take the erosion again, neutral tab, and there it is. So we take the output, put it in the input, going to the 3D view. Now I like to disable water here because it's going to be looking a lot more realistic. So erosion, let's take it, and we're going to apply it about the same time as we did, about the same way we did before. So channeled erosion, rock hardness a bit up, sediment carry amount about 0.8, sorry. Filter strength 0.82. There we go. Channel depth, turn it a bit down, and post channel erosion about half. Not completely half, but almost half, 44% there. And enable. Now one thing that you need to pay attention to is that once you're going to go more up slowly, you can see the mountain start to jump down a little bit. There, you see there? I'll jump down there. We want it to jump down one more time. There. Let's click OK, and let's click build. So now you can see our mountain. Now of course it has a lot of spiky mountains, but I wish I said before that I quite like that. So yeah, but if you're not a big fan of spiky mountains, then the only thing you need to do then just take this one down. But yeah, back to the erosion. We have a mountains and it looks great. So one thing we want to do now is we want to combine these two erosions. So we're going to go into the tab called Combiner, and we're going to take this to the far right, just Combiner, which just combines two boxes together. So we take this one, take the primary output, put it into the first input, take this primary output and take it into the second input. So there's multiple ways that you can combine two boxes, but one thing we're going to use is the add feature, and we're going to put it, we're not going to put it completely up, because if we're going to put all up, then you can see over here it's a bit hard to see, but it's actually reaching so far up that it's actually cutting off some of the mountains. We don't want that. So if you see that one of your mountains has a very flat top, that means it's because it's too high. So we're going to raise it slightly down until we can see that it's about there. Yeah. Click OK, and let's click build. So this is our map. I think I quite like it. Yeah. It got some great mountains and it got some great flat areas too. Well, let's make a beach. So one thing that you can of course do is in the neutral tab under where you found the erosion, there's also a coast erosion. So let's take coast erosion and put it in here. Just primary output to primary input. Click on the coast erosion, click 3D view. So we're going to use the use global water level. So this is the 1,240 meters, as you can see. We're going to uncheck it immediately. So one thing we're going to do is we don't want this completely obvious beach, because it's not going to look good. We need to have it to be a bit more smoothed out. So we're going to take the transition power and we're going to put it not completely up, but about, where do I like it? I like it about there, about 0.65, around there. Now you can also smooth the amount that's underwater. So if you take a close look on the water, and as I am doing this, you can see that it is smoothing out. I usually just hold it at 4. It's fine. And you can also have cliffs, but again, that doesn't look good. I don't think so, at least. Smooth, that's fine. And all these settings, this is what I usually use. Then I'll click OK and build. So yeah, let's take a look. Now this one, it is still very visible, and I don't like it, but in Minecraft it's not going to look as ridiculous as it does here. One thing that I do notice, that this is a problem. We don't want it to just end and just cut out, because it's going to look ridiculous. We want water in every edge. So what we're going to do, we want to go back to the mountains. Click like that. And we're going to, oh, by the way, this is a smart thing. By the way, we want to take the coast erosion, click F again to preview, lock preview. You can also do it over here, lock preview. So just so you know, we're going to go back to this general layout generator where we have our mountains, and now you can see here we have the rendered map, and we can actually move our mountains now. So let's just move this a bit up, slightly up. There you go. Now you can see there's no cutting there. It's all one mountain, which is good. Now you can also just to go in a bit more detail with these, you can also just raise and lower the mountains, of course. So if you doesn't want it to be a big mountain like this, see, but I like big mountains. So that's the actual terrain made. So let's export it. So we're going to go into output, and we're going to take this height output. This is the thing we're going to take, and we're going to take output, put it into input, double click, and we're going to save this as a PNG file, because that is most reliable when it comes to World Painter. I found that very easy to use. And here we're going to rename our, we're going to name it, let's take it 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, write output to disk, and it's just going to build it last time. There we go, very easily. Let's just save it if I want to change something later, because if you go into Minecraft and you do see that there is something that you like to change, then you have it here. So now you need to go to the folder called World Machine Documents. You can just search on it in your Windows stuff. Yeah, in your World Machine you can find this map, this folder. You want to double click on it, and you're going to go to the height output you created, 1 2 3 4 5. That's mine. Double click on it just to take a closer look at it. And this is what I'm talking about white. This is a height map, by the way. The black areas is the very low areas, and the white areas is the very high areas. So the very white areas is our mountains, and it looks just fine. So let's take and import it into World Painter. So you're going to File, Import New World from Height Map. I'm going to select our map through World Machine Documents. I recommend that you put it on your desktop as a little getaway. So you're going to take, here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, open. And here is what you select your size of your map. So let's say that 100% that equals 515 blocks. So what we said, it was 1,500 blocks. So let's say 300%. So here is our size of a map. Now it's not going to become as exactly 1,500, but it's close to. And let's click OK. Now you can also change the height, the max height. If you think the map is too high and you want to lower it down, then you can do it here. We might have to do it. Let's click OK. And let's real quickly go to this global operation, fill in terrain type with grass. And we do it again where we take remove layer, frost. Go, just, there we go. Now it's all grass. Now we're going to go into view and show 3D view. Now this is just to get a good look at our map. So yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I like it. Yeah. So okay, so let's close this down. So this is what I'm going to show you now, which is very neat. We're going to go into the tab called Custom Terrain. We get all these question marks. You want to click on the first one, right click on it, create custom material. We want to make it stone with data value with 3. Click OK. We want to create another one. This is just stone with data value 5. Click OK. The next one is just stone, data value 0. Click OK. The next one is going to be cobblestone. Click OK. The next one is going to be gravel. Click OK. And the final one is mossy cobblestone that has an ID of 48. This is the ID of the block, by the way. When I click that, OK. So we have these different terrains. Now this is going to be our stone. So what we're going to do is we're going to this pencil, and this is going to able to paint these stones. So over here we have the different ways we can paint our map. We want only on grass. Only on grass. This is very important, and we want it to be above 70 degrees. This is degrees. This is height. This is degrees down here. And we want intensity to be 100. I want to take a very strong brush. I usually take this one or this one. Let's take the round one. Let's zoom out. We can use Control and the mouse wheel to zoom out and in. And we're going to take the first one we made, the stone 3. And we're just going to make it like this. Just click, and it will create a few here and there. Let's take then our stone 5. Click that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this 70 and reduce it to 65. I'm going to click it again, do the same thing over and over. Now we're going to take the stone, just regular stone, and reduce this to 60. And we're going to take our cobblestone and make it 55. Now we take our gravel and reduce it to 50. And for the last one, mossy cobblestone, and we're going to take this down to 46, not 45, because I have just 46. It's much better than that way. 46. Now, one thing to note is that if we're going to make a very ice plain, a very frost kind of terrain, then I reckon instead of doing mossy cobblestone, you do just ice. And if you want to know what ice is, that is 79, I believe. Yeah, ice. And if you're doing a desert, it is just sandstone, which I believe is 30 something. So now let's take a look in our 3D view. And as you can see, now we've made our map look a lot prettier. So yeah, now one thing I like to do is, of course, make trees. Now you can of course use the default trees over here, which is just desolate, pine, swamp, jungle trees, but they don't look very good. and actually they're very small too. They are all right for mountains and very hilly terrain. But one thing I want to show you is custom trees. So this is Planet Minecraft, and this is a guy called Lince. I can't really pronounce his name. I don't know what it is, but what he has is custom trees repository, and what it is basically custom trees, and you can use this in World Painter, which I actually have on my own. So you just need to download this Minecraft map. I can show you this. It's very simple to install. So let's just click download. Let's just real quick make a new folder. Let's call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Let's just so we know what we're dealing with. We're going to take a custom trees. We're going to put it into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folder, or just the folder we just created. We're going to go into it, and we're going to extract files here, because why not? Now, this folder, we need to go into the schematics, and there is a lot of schematics here. Now you can see there is African trees, the European trees, North American trees, and South American trees. And you can click on it, and there's a whole bunch of trees. Now, I like to show you some trees that I have selected, and I have created a little layer with it. So, because you can create your own layers in your own pre-made layers. I can show you this real quick. I have my own little World Painter folder, and this is oak wood trees. Where is it? Oak wood trees. Over here. So let's click open, and now it's going to create a tab called custom layers. So if we go into this is the oak wood trees that I use. So if you want to make a layer like this, you just need to go in, click the plus, add a custom object layer. You're going to go into this Lego block with a plus on it, and you're going to find this folder we just made. Let's just say this. And you want to find, you're going to the schematic, by the way, not the BO2 schematic, and you're going to go and find the different trees you want. Now, there's something I like to show you if you don't know which trees you want. Let's go back to this folder we just made, and you can see there is a tree grind world. Now I'd like to show you a bit of what that is in Minecraft, because I still believe I have that in here. Yep, it's right here. This is what it's going to look like. What it is going to look like. And here you have it. So this is the different trees, and I've just flown around picking up my favorite trees, which I have used for oak wood. And this is more medieval styled trees. Very forest trees, classic forest trees like this one. I believe I used this one, and this one I think I'm not too sure. But if I go back into World Painter, you can just see my list of trees that I have selected. So yeah, now let's use this as an example. Let's make an oak forest, and let's make it very medievalish. let's make a medieval map. So that's one example. Now, of course, he also, this is one thing that I also want to point out. This guy, Lente, Breische, whatever he has also made, I believe, if you can find it here, no, but he's also made some fantasy trees with World of Warcraft trees, and he's just created in Minecraft. It is somewhere. So if you're just going to Google Lente Breische, whatever, custom trees, fantasy custom trees, or something like that, it will show up and it will direct you to this website too. And yeah, you can download it too. It's basically the same thing, but just with different trees. So, and it has Nordic trees too, some like very Viking themed trees too, and other kinds of trees. If you don't really want to make medieval maps, but yeah, let's just do this one for demonstration purposes. So one thing that I also want to show you real quick is grass and flowers. Here you have them. This is tall grass and medium grass. This is in Danish, by the way, so just in case you don't know what it is, this tall grass. Now, this is actually a layer that you can make in Wallpainter too. If you go to the plus, you can go and you can create custom plants layer. I'm going to click that, and you can basically select what kind of flowers you want and what kind of grass you want, and how much of you, how much you want of it in percentage. Now, I'll show you mine real quick. So if you don't wanna do it yourself, you can just copy this. That's fine. This is the tall grass, and over here we have the medium. So, and here's a little preview of it. Doesn't really help much, but hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. So let's make real quick a little adjustment, because if you see in here the border, there is something that just missing. It's just some extra chunks that we want to cut off. So let's go to this puzzle brick, and we want to shape this thing off like that. Now be very careful, because you cannot undo this. So let's just remove these tiles like this. Now this only happens in sometimes. It depends on how big you make the map. This does. So yeah, but it's not something you have to do. It's something you can do if you want to make the map a bit smaller. So let's make some grass. Now, one thing I also want to show you is the one thing I like to do is I just like to zoom out with this brush completely out and do it one sweep. But in order for you to do that, you need to make so you can have your custom brushes, the size of them, to be as big as you want. So you need to go into edit. Edit, and then you're going to go to preferences, and over here you're going to take maximum brush size, and we're going to increase it to something that is at least half. This is the radius, by the way. So if we want to have a 1500 block map, you need to have this at least 750 in radius. Just for that. But yeah, so now you do that, you can just create this huge brush. So we're going to take this one, this spray paint feature, and you're going to take the tall grass, and you're going to take it below 25. Now this is just what I do. You can experiment all day long with this, but this is what I do. I do with below 25 degrees only on grass, and I use intensity on 15, and I also do above 62, because sometimes it usually doesn't happen with me, but I have experienced before where there would be very awkward glitches in the water, because I have put grass and flowers there by accident. So just in case, put it at 62. So you're sure. Now you do just need to click once. Just once. Now you can see all the green. That is all the tall grass. Now we also want to go above, and we want to take the intensity down to 8. And let's click one more time. Now we want to take medium grass. We're going to take below 25, and we're going to intensity on 29. And we're just going to click once. There you go. And then above 25 and intensity on 8. And there you have it. Now this is going to look very confusing too, because I use a lot of different colors, because the green one is the green layer, and if you have a lot of different layers, you're going to get confused if I have actually put this layer here. So one thing you're going to do is you're going to uncheck these if you don't want to watch this. So now you take the oak wood, and you're going to take below 20 degrees. And I don't like having these big oak woods like really with dense forest. I like to have like a very general dense forest, and then somewhere I have a dense forest. So let's do intensity on 1, and again at 62, because we don't want trees to spawn on the water. I don't usually think that happened. I think that has been patched, but one time that happened to me and it was very weird. So we're going to take, actually, you know what, we're going to take to 63, and we're going to just do it once. Yeah, so now we're going to take it up to 15. We're going to take the circular brush, and we are just going to choose a few places. It's going to make it the radius to about 50 something, 54. That will do. We're just going to click randomly, just to make a few dense forests around the map, like this. Now, if it's going to be too obvious that there's going to be a whole lot of trees, and then after that there's not going to be that many trees, if the transition is way too obvious, then maybe you need to take the intensity on 8 and then make the brush a bit bigger. Then do this. Actually, you know what? I think I'll do this. Now, here's what here is when we're going to make the default trees come into play. So I don't usually do the default trees unless it is on a hill or a mountain. So let me explain. I like big and small trees to be in the same place, and it's going to look very, very good. But we don't want too many of them in flat areas. So we take the default oak wood trees. Now it's also going to spawn birchwood trees sometimes. It's not always, but whatever. We're going to take below 25. We're going to take the intensity on 1. And we're basically just going to take the square brush and go all the way out and just click once. There. So every time the slope is 25 degrees or less, there is a 1% chance that there will spawn a default tree. So we now are going to take above 25 and increase the intensity to 8. And we're going to go all out again and click. But we also going to take the circular brush again. We're going to go into these forests again, and we're going to click again here where these dense forests is. So yeah, now we have grass, we have trees. Now I also like to have a few bushes and a few rocks here and there. and I have actually made some. So I'd like to show you this website here. This is my media file, and I have uploaded some stone and bushes pack. So, and this is something I'll also have down in the description. So you just need to go and download this. It is optional though. This is just for details. So if you don't want so many details in your map, then this is going to be fine. But if you want that extra detail, this is going to be fine. So let's download this. Let's take this. We're going to put it into this folder, and we're going to unzip it. And here we have ice rock, sand rock, and just rock. So yeah, the two. Now the first, the stone 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now there's 6 of each, which means that ice rock 1, sand rock 1, and stone 1 is basically the same shape. It's just instead of ice, it's sandstone, and mossy cobblestone. So there's no difference there. So we are going to focus on the stone. So now that we have this installed, we need to go into here, into these layers. We're going to take the plus, add custom object layer, and we're going to take the plus, and we're going to take the computer, and there we go, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folder, and we're going to take the first. We're going to take all 6. Let's take all 6, and we're going to do something a little bit different. Actually, you know what? We're also going to do this with the trees, but I'm going to show you that in a minute. Because let's double click on the stone. Now you can also click on the Lego brick with the little pencil on, which just edits this schematic. Now you need to pay attention to this offset, and let's just click on these numbers. So if it was to be placed like this on the ground. Now let's say it is on a hill that is going downhill or uphill if you want. It's going to have a air block, and you might actually run into this problem with your trees if you just export it now to just see how it looks. You'll see that that the roots of your trees is just standing on the ground. It's not in the ground, it's on the ground. And you want to take the y-axis, and you want to take it to -1, and click OK, and click OK. And you want to do this with all. I have designed these stones myself to work like that. So you're just gonna do this -1 with the y-axis with all the stones, and there you have it. So let's just rename this to have rocks, and let's have the gray rock kind of color there, and let's click OK. So we're going into custom layers, and now we have rocks. So I'm going to do this very easily. I'm going to take below 25 at above 60, 60, 63. I'm just going to take the square brush, and I'm just going to go way out and click once. Done. Actually, I think I'm going to take this to 62, just so you can get some stones down on the beach. So speaking of the beach, let's make a beach. Let's make some sand. So you need to replace the grass with sand and not the stones. So you're going to remain this on grass. So go to the terrain tab, and we're going to take this bare sand. We can also just do desert with where there spawns cactuses and dead bushes and stuff. We don't want that. It's just a beach. So let's just take bare sand, and we're going to take this intensity on 100%. And I like to have a circular brush. This is my preference. And we are going to take, instead of at or above, we're going to take at or below 62. So we are just going to take and go all the way around with sand here and just replace everything. Now, of course, this is just the first level above water that is going to be replaced with sand, and that is below 25 degrees. So, but I'm going to show you how I do my beaches and how I make them realistically. So this is just the first layer. Now we're going to take it to at or below 63. And we're going to take the below 20 instead. We're just going to do the same thing. Now this method can take some time, and it probably will take some time, but it's going to make it look very good. And then I'll take at or below 64 and put it down to 15 as the last one. And then we're going to go all the way around the island again and do the same thing. So now when we have all this, we will now make it a bit more, take it a little bit further. So all this is going to look really dumb in Minecraft. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it a bit more nitpicky here. We're going to remove all these boxes, so we allow us full freedom, and we're of course still going to take it to intensity 100%. We're going to take the sand, and we're just going to take and just paint these still sand, because this looks stupid. Now this is going to take a lot of time, but if you are really careful and you take your time, it's going to look very good. Actually, because the transition between beach and grass is really hard to achieve, and even with this method, it's probably not the most efficient way to do it. But I have tried different ways, and I think this one is the best to do it, because you know, it kind of like, when it goes very up, it kind of stops and it can't go up further. So this is basically my way of saying that this is how I do it. Now, one thing that you also need to mention is that small little things like this can also be completely covered in grass. Now, do remember, I just forgot this. Remember, only on grass, we're going to take this one. Everything but this one. We're still going to have only on grass, because we don't want the stone to go away. So do this and all this. So another thing is, for example, small islands, just all those sand, and the small little things like this sand, and I believe over here all this sand, and this one, who's almost connected with the mainland, just take this and just sand all this, and this one. Now this is probably the phase that probably takes the longest. So yeah, but I'm not going to do all this. I think I'll do this, and then I'll just show you this in Minecraft once we are done. So I can show you this one, and so if you do everything else, it should look almost like this. It just, once you are in a very flat area, there's going to be more beach, and over here, when it is a very steep hill, there's not going to be that much beach. Like here, for example, there's almost no beach. So this is one of the reasons why I do this. So yeah, you do all this, and make sure that everything is fine and looks really good. So yeah, let's continue with the faces, because this takes forever. I'm not going to do all this. So let's make a little lake, and I'm going to use this blue drop. You can also do a red drop with that is lava. So I don't recommend you do that, because it will look kind of unrealistic. So let's do this, and we're going to be, now it's very important that you don't click the wrong place, because that will cover the entire, on some of the entire map in water. Like if you do up here, just boom, the entire map is just almost covered in water. So let's just Control Z or C and redo that. So we need to do it in a place where the water can escape, like this one that's going down, like a little river, lake. So let's do this. Let's take this one. You're going to click again to just raise it up. So let's do this. Yeah. Now we have a little lake. So what we can do now is just make a little more detail with this what do you call lake. So let's do some more custom layering. Let's take the custom plants layer and just do, where is it? Sugar canes. There you go. And it's okay, 100%. So now, of course, they're only going to spawn just on the edge, so there's nothing to worry about there. And let's take intensity on 100 and the paint tool. Let's do a few very, very gently. Oh, yeah, like there, like this. Maybe one here and here, maybe over here, here, and here. Now, all this is inside the lake, and over here, that's just gonna disappear. That's not going to go into the actual creation of the map when you export it into Minecraft. So don't worry about that. We can also make another one with some lily pads. Oops, wrong. There you go. Lily pads. Let's do one some right here, and just let's say 8%. Boom, just like that. Oh, remember, when you're going to do something like this with 8%, you have to do it with like this, with the spray paint. And boom. Yeah, that's great. So let's take a look in Minecraft, because I believe we have everything we want. So of course, when we import it into Minecraft, we're going to take a hard look at it if it all looks great. But one thing I recommend you do is that you export it into Minecraft before you start working on everything in World Painter, just to see if all the mountains and all the valleys and everything you had envisioned is what's in Minecraft. So, but of course, I kind of have, by experience, I know that this one is going to look just fine. So let's put a spawn in the lake, or right next to the lake, like this. So let's export it. Now, when you export it, there's there's a lot of different options. Now, of course, if you want to do it survival, you can do survival. You can do adventure, hard mode. I'm just going to use creative because I like to fly. Include chest of goodies, nah. Structures, nah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But you can also set the water. So if you move outside the map, there's just going to be infinite amount of water. You can also do no border, which means it's going to be just generate default Minecraft terrain over when you fly outside the map. So, but I'm just going to say water. And you can also, don't touch this. This is going to mess up your map. Resources, you can adjust how often your gold, iron, coal, diamond, and emerald drops when you're out and mining, and other things like this. Don't touch this. This one you can touch this, by the way, but only if you don't click these. You can make caves and dungeons with the World Painter map. It's just not going to be the same thing. You're not going to be able to find mine shaft or enemy spawns. So this is just the restrictions that is with World Painter. You can't do this in World Painter. But yeah, just experiment with this if you want to know more about the program. If you want to know more. But for now, we're just going to export it all. So let's take a look at what it looks like. So anyway, I hope that this helped you a lot, and I really hoped that this will maybe make you want to make maps in Minecraft. So I will end the video right now, and so I hope that you all enjoyed it. So if you liked it, then please like, favorite, and subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. And tell you what you really liked. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section down below. I'll be glad to help. I'll be very glad to help. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.